Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. I don't understand why people cheat. If you are not happy, just leave. Don't lie, don't cheat, and don't make promises you can't keep. It was June 18th, 2017, when a Facebook user named Hina Talreya posted a total of 12 posts, one after another, on her Facebook account. All these posts meant only one thing, that someone had betrayed her in love, and now she was repeatedly sending a message to that man through these posts that he had wronged her. But time kept passing by, and soon the date of July 4th, 2017 arrived. That evening, Hina was getting ready in her room, and when her mother asked her, "Where are you going, dear?" Hina simply replied that she was going to Delhi. After saying just this much, at around 7 p.m. on July 4th, Hina left her home. But she had no idea that she was bidding her mother goodbye for the last time, and her mother also did not know that she was seeing her daughter Hina for the last time. Actually, on July 14th, 2017, some officers from the Uttar Pradesh police arrived at Hina Talreya's house, who lived in a small area called Mirapur in the Prayagraj district of Uttar Pradesh. When the police officers knocked on the door of Hina's house, a middle-aged woman named Leavie Talreya opened the door. After that, the police officers showed Hina's photo to the woman and asked about her. In response, the woman said that this was her daughter who hadn't come home for many days. But then the police told the woman that her daughter had been murdered and that her dead body had been found on the morning of July 5th, 2017. This was the kind of news no mother would ever want to hear, and naturally you would also think that Hina's mother must have been devastated after hearing it. But Neelima, after hearing this, completely denied having any relationship with her daughter, Hina Talreya, in front of the police. She even said that she had cut all ties with her daughter because Hina had caused her a lot of pain. Neelima further told the police that at 7 p.m. on July 4th, Hina had left the house saying she was going to Delhi. Although she knew that Hina was lying to her, she still didn't say anything because Hina always did what she wanted. Hina's mother even told the police that she did not want to file any report regarding Hina's murder because she no longer had any relation with that girl. After hearing all this, even the police officers thought about how a mother could say such things about her own daughter. However, now the police had all the information regarding Hina's identity, so they themselves registered Hina Talreya's murder case. At that point, they thought that maybe there had been some old dispute between the mother and daughter, which is why Hina's mother, Neelima, was so angry. Actually, Hina Talreya's dead body was found in a village called Panor, about 14 miles away from her house in Mirapur. Around 7 a.m. on July 5th, 2017, some people were passing by a road in Panoi village, and they saw a human dead body lying in a field beside the road. Seeing this, they were all shocked, and one of them immediately called the police to report that a woman's body was lying in a field near the road by Panoi village. Hearing this, a few police officers quickly got into their vehicle and headed towards the spot. But by the time the police reached the scene, almost the entire village had already heard that a girl's dead body had been found in their village, and so a huge crowd had started gathering there. But now the police officers start clearing the crowd and try to identify the dead body. The body was lying face down, and just by looking at it, it was clear that it was a woman's body. The girl was wearing blue jeans and a pink top with a white dotted design on it. Anyway, the police called in a team of forensic experts to investigate the crime scene. Now, it became visible to everyone that the condition of the dead body had deteriorated significantly. Besides, when the girl's body, lying face down, was turned over, everyone could see a deep wound right in the middle of her forehead. Seeing that wound, even the police got confused about what could have caused it, because it did not look like a bullet wound. However, the girl's face was still recognizable, and apart from the wound found in the middle of her forehead, the forensic experts did not find any other injuries on her body. but the police carefully searched the field where the girl's body was found to look for any identification or a cell phone. Even after thoroughly investigating for a long time, the police found nothing. Meanwhile, the officers also questioned some villagers, but they too had no information about the dead body. Some officers began to believe that the body had been brought from somewhere else and dumped there because if the murder had happened at that spot, there would probably have been more blood according to the nature of the wound. After completing their preliminary investigation, the police sent the dead body to the hospital morgue. The first task in front of the police was to find out whose murder had taken place and then to find the killer. So the police quickly got to work and first informed all the nearby police stations about the dead body. The girl's photo was also circulated to all the stations so that if anyone came to file a missing complaint, they could be asked about the body. The police of Panoi village had found the dead body on July 5th, 2017, and by July 9th, no one had come forward to claim it. Therefore, the police themselves went to court and obtained permission to conduct the autopsy. On July 9th itself, a team of doctors performed the girl's autopsy, and the entire procedure was recorded as evidence. But when the post-mortem report came out, not only the police but also the team of doctors were shocked, as they had perhaps witnessed such a horrific crime for the first time in their lives. According to the doctors, the girl had been physically assaulted by several individuals before being killed, and then shot right in the middle of her forehead. However, the doctors stated that even after being shot, the wound was further deepened by some other thing. The shocking thing was that no one had yet come forward to claim the body. Although the police were doing everything they could to identify the dead body, and the story was making headlines on every local news channel, still no one came forward looking for the girl. By July 10th, when the police saw that no one had come to search for the girl, they collected her DNA and photographs and then conducted her last rites themselves. Although the news had spread through the media, the police also shared the girl's body photographs through various social media accounts. Slowly, the photos started going viral, and people began sharing them on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Because of this, on July 12th, an unknown man calls the Panoi village police and tells them that he saw this girl on Facebook. The girl's real name is Hina Talreya, but on Facebook she has an account under the name Talreya Hina. After this, the police searched Hina's Facebook account and found out that Hina's last activity on Facebook was on July 4th, 2017. That day, Hina made 2 posts at 10:45 p.m. and 10:46 p.m., and the next morning, on July 5th, Hina's dead body was found. From here, the police deduced that Hina's murder must have taken place after 11 p.m. on July 4th. Now, the police had identified the dead body, but they still had to find her killer. Therefore, the police first tried to learn about Hina's personal life, and during this they found her home address from one of her Facebook posts. After this, the police reached Hina's home, and the conversation they had with her mother has already been discussed. After speaking to Hina's mother, the Panoi village police realized that this case was not going to be so easy for them. Because of this, they handed over the responsibility of solving Hina Talreya's case to the crime branch team, which is responsible for investigating such serious crimes. When the crime branch team began their investigation, they found out that Hina Talreya used to work at a hookah bar. After that, the crime branch police located the address of the hookah bar where Hina worked and reached there on July 18th, 2017. They requested the list of employees working there and saw that Hina Talreya's name was on the list. Additionally, the bar manager made some revelations about Hina to the crime branch. She said that Hina was a cheerful girl and used to quickly become friends with people. However, most of her friend circle consisted of boys from wealthy families, and being around them had led Hina to develop a drinking habit. In fact, if Hina's friends ever invited her for a drink anytime, anywhere, she would go. After learning all this, the police decided to check her call detail record to find out which boys Hina was friends with. But the call detail record showed that on the last day of her life, that is, July 4th, Hina had spoken to very few people. The last person she talked to was a man named Adnan Khan. Since Hina contacted Adnan right before her death, the police, as usual, directly suspected him and also thought that maybe Adnan knew something about Hina's death. Therefore, the crime branch police team decided to interrogate Adnan and found his address through his phone number. Actually, Adnan was a resident of Shahgan town in Uttar Pradesh, and after finding this out, the police went to Adnan's house on July 18th itself. There, they learned that Adnan's family was quite wealthy and that his father was a big businessman. However, at Adnan's house, the police could not find Adnan, so the crime branch police asked his parents about him. From Adnan's parents, the crime branch police found out that Adnan had left home on the night of July 4th with his friend Mohammed Khalid and had not returned since. But when the crime branch police told Adnan's parents about Hina Talreja's murder and Adnan's last conversation with her, Adnan's family made a new revelation to the police. This was something that even Hina's mother, Nilima, had not told the police. In fact, Hina and Adnan were husband and wife. Although they belonged to different religions, they went against their families and got married in 2015. Now, when this fact came to light, the crime branch police also faced the question that, if they were husband and wife, then why was Hina living with her mother before her murder? Apart from this, Hina had made her last call to Adnan from her phone, and after Hina's murder, Adnan was missing from his house as well. Also, when the police tried to trace Adnan's number, his phone was switched off. Now, the crime branch police felt that Adnan might have some information about Hina Talreja's death. After this, the crime branch police team activated all their informants and assigned them the task of finding out about Adnan and Khalid in any way possible. Then the police informants started contacting their networks, spread across every corner of the country. Although this process was very hectic, finally one of the crime branch informants obtained the information that Adnan Khan and his friend were hiding in a house in Mumbai. After receiving this information, the Uttar Pradesh police contacted the Mumbai police. After that, a crime branch team from Prayagraj city in Uttar Pradesh departed for Mumbai, the city famous as India's commercial and financial capital. However, when the crime branch police reached the address provided by their informant in Mumbai, neither Adnan nor Khalid was found there. But seeing the condition of the house, the police realized that both of them had been staying there, as there were some chips packets, liquor bottles, some cigarette butts, and even a dish of chicken left on the table. The police thought that perhaps both of them had gotten wind that the police were closing in, which is why they fled. Because of this, the crime branch team also returned to Prayagraj. But after waiting for a few days, on July 29, 2017, the crime branch team received information from another informant that Adnan was roaming around in an area of Prayagraj with two of his friends. Without wasting time, the police rushed to the spot and found Adnan and his two friends there. However, seeing the police, all three tried to flee. And when some officers from the crime branch chased them, Adnan was caught. But his two friends managed to escape. Now, with Adnan in custody, the police started interrogating him. From the beginning, the crime branch team interrogated Adnan strictly, and he became completely terrified. Because of this fear, he soon confessed that he had killed Hina. Afterward, Adnan narrated the entire story to the crime branch team, from meeting Hina to killing her. Actually, Hina Talreja lived with her parents in a rented house in Mirapur, and she was the only child of her parents. Since Hina was the only child, her family fulfilled her every wish. Hina also had a great interest in being fashionable and had even completed a fashion designing course. Whatever Hina asked from her family, her father would get it for her, and because of this, she became a bit stubborn. As Hina grew older, she started doing whatever she felt like and would listen to her parents less and less. After growing up, Hina made some friends with whom she started visiting bars daily, and there she also began drinking alcohol. Now, because Hina kept going to bars again and again, she had made a lot of new friends and would easily talk to anyone. Most of Hina's friends were boys from wealthy families, and whenever they invited her to drink or party at a bar, she would show up. Everything was going fine, but Hina faced the biggest shock when she was 21 years old and her father passed away. Other than her father, there was no one else earning in the family, so Hina herself started working at a hookah bar in her city. Although before his death, Hina's father used to occasionally scold her for doing the wrong things. Now she had complete freedom. Now, Hina could do anything she wanted with the money she earned from her job. Hina talked to people in such a way that anyone speaking to her would be attracted to her right away. Besides that, Hina was also very active on Facebook, where she made a lot of friends too. Before 2015, Hina met Adnan Khan through Facebook, and Adnan fell for her the first time he saw her picture. Adnan found out about Hina's workplace through Facebook. Adnan also came from a wealthy family, and he too loved going to bars and partying. Additionally, his two friends, Muhammad Khalid and Vicky, always stayed with him, and wherever Adnan went, his two friends would accompany him. When Adnan found out that Hina worked at a hookah bar, he went there with his two friends. There, Adnan saw Hina in person for the first time and immediately started talking to her. Hina also enjoyed talking to Adnan, so they became friends after that very first conversation. Afterward, Adnan kept coming back to the hookah bar just to see Hina and talk to her. Eventually, Adnan even used his money and power to get Hina removed from her job so that she could sit with him and party. Slowly, Hina also started liking Adnan. But now, Adnan was spending a lot of money on Hina and buying her expensive gifts. He even fulfilled many of her expensive desires. During this time, one day, Adnan found the right moment and proposed to Hina, and because Hina also wanted a good standard of living, she realized before accepting the proposal that Adnan could provide her with an easy life in the future. After that, time passed, and their love grew so much that they decided to get married. They both told their families about their love, but both families refused to approve the marriage. Actually, Adnan Khan belonged to the Muslim religion, and Hina Talreya belonged to the Hindu religion. Because of this, both their families said that the marriage could not happen because their religions were different. But just as Hina had only listened to her heart after her father's death, Adnan also decided to go against his family for the marriage. As a result, they both had a court marriage, and after the wedding, Hina converted her religion and became Hina Khan from Hina Talreya. However, even after the marriage, their families still did not approve, so Adnan had to live with Hina in a rented house. For a year, their relationship went very smoothly, walking down the road holding hands late at night, hugging while watching movies. It felt as if flowers were showering down on this couple from the sky. But in 2016, some misunderstandings started creeping into their relationship. Actually, Adnan wanted Hina to leave her job and stay at home. Basically, he wanted his wife not to interact much with other men. However, Hina continued working at the hookah bar even after their marriage and didn't quit drinking either. Besides this, Hina also had many male friends with whom she openly talked. Apart from that, Hina didn't even listen to her parents, so she continued the same behavior with her husband Adnan as well. Because of this, many differences began to arise between the two, leading to more frequent arguments. The situation escalated so much that they decided to live separately, and Hina moved to Mirapur to stay with her mother. Although after Hina married Adnan, her mother had broken all ties with her, Nilima thought that after all, Hina was still her daughter, and she couldn't undo her daughter's decision to marry a Muslim boy. Now the mother and daughter started living together, while Adnan also moved back to his own house. Since Adnan's family didn't accept his marriage, they later found a girl of their choice and arranged Adnan's marriage with her. No article clearly mentions whether Adnan married this girl under family pressure or if he did it of his own will to get rid of Hina. But Adnan married a second time without informing Hina and without giving her a divorce. For some time, Hina remained unaware of Adnan's second marriage, but such things don't stay hidden for long. After a few days, Hina found out about Adnan's second marriage from one of Adnan's friends. Upon learning this, Hina went to a nearby police station and gave a statement that her husband had married again without informing her, even though they had signed a legal marriage document. After this, the police called Adnan to the station, where he apologized to Hina several times to calm her anger. After repeated requests from Adnan, Hina withdrew her case, and only then did Adnan feel some relief. But by now he had realized that Hina would never divorce him, because all her desires were being fulfilled because of him. Moreover, she would neither accept Adnan's second marriage nor give up her bad habits. However, at the beginning of 2017, Adnan learned that Hina was pregnant, and now Hina began blackmailing him, saying that if he didn't divorce his second wife, she would bring the child to his house. After hearing this, Adnan became very anxious and once again tried to convince Hina. But now Adnan was fed up with everything and wanted to get rid of his wife, Hina Khan. As a result, Adnan shared his troubles with his two close friends, Khalid and Vicky. Then the three of them made a plan together and decided to kill Hina. The date was July 4th, 2017. That morning, Adnan called Hina and invited her to dinner that night. Hearing this, Hina was very happy because she thought that perhaps her husband, Adnan, was trying to come back to her. But she had no idea that she was walking straight into a vile plan that would soon cost her life. Around 7 p.m., Hina got ready and left her house, and when her mother asked where she was going, Hina replied that she was going to Delhi. After that, Adnan picked Hina up in his car, and hidden in the trunk were Adnan's two friends. Then Adnan took control of the car himself, and during this time he also made Hina drink alcohol. Afterward, the two of them arrived at a local restaurant where they often used to go. After eating there, they both got back into the car and left. But then Adnan stopped the car in a deserted area, and at that moment, the two friends hidden in the trunk also came out. After that, the three of them together overpowered Hina and first physical assaulted her. At that time, Hina was screaming for help, but there was no one around to hear her. During this time, Adnan pulled out a gun he had with him, and the next moment shot Hina in the head. Then, using a knife, he deepened the gunshot wound even more so that there would be no chance of Hina surviving. After that, Adnan got back into the driver's seat and drove the car a little further to a field. But before they could throw Hina's dead body there, Adnan's two friends took all her identification documents and her cell phone from her. Then the three of them threw Hina's dead body into a field and fled from the scene. After hearing this entire story from Adnan, the police prepared almost the entire charge sheet based on his statements and then presented it in court. However, during the police investigation later, Muhammad Khalid was also caught, but their third partner, Vicky, even after so many years, has still not been caught. According to sources, Vicky is the son of a big businessman, and perhaps that is the reason the police are being prevented from catching him. Maybe that is why this case has not been closed in the police records, and they are still trying to find Adnan's third partner. However, the investigation into this case was also halted for some time in between, and perhaps the reason could be that some powerful people were involved. After this case came to light, people's reaction against Adnan was extremely angry. Besides that, the Indian media also covered this case on a large scale. highlighting the dangers faced by women in abusive and humiliating relationships. What are your thoughts on this case? Please share them in the comment box below. But as always, we'll keep an eye on this case, and if there are any update in future, we'll definitely post about them in community section of David True Crime channel or in the comment section of this video. So with that, the Hina Talreya alias Hina Khan murder case comes to an end right here. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. In the city of Jhansi, in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, there lived a boy named Sandeep Budalia. Sandeep was an educated young man, and all the members of his family were also well educated. He came from a good family. After completing his studies, Sandeep quickly secured a good job. He was working as a medical representative and was earning well from this job. As time passed, he reached the age suitable for marriage while continuing his job, and by then he had also become financially stable. Because of this, Sandeep's parents started thinking about getting him married. After that, Sandeep's family began searching for a good match for him. While they were looking for a suitable girl, a marriage proposal for Sandeep reached the father of a girl. The girl's father's name was Sanjeev Tripathi, and he lived in the Tikamgarh district of Madhya Pradesh. Sanjeev's daughter's name was Sonali. At that time, Sonali had also reached a marriageable age, and Sanjeev was looking for a boy who had a good job, could provide a good life to his daughter, and could also be a good life partner. When Sonali's parents received Sandeep's marriage proposal, they started gathering information about him. After confirming everything about Sandeep, they agreed to marry their daughter, Sonali, to Sandeep Budalia. On the other hand, Sandeep's family was also gathering information about Sonali. After both families were satisfied with what they found, they fully agreed to go ahead with the marriage of Sandeep and Sonali. On February 27, 2017, Sandeep and Sonali got married. Their wedding was celebrated with great enthusiasm, and after the wedding, the couple began a new chapter in their life. After 3 years of marriage in 2020, Sonali gave birth to a daughter. After the birth of her daughter, Sonali became very happy. She preferred to spend most of her time with her daughter and took good care of her. As time passed, Sonali's daughter started to grow up a bit. On February 14, 2025, Valentine's Day, Sonali's maternal uncle's son was getting married. The wedding was going to take place in Madhya Pradesh. Sonali informed her husband Sandeep about this and asked him to accompany her to the wedding. Although Sandeep gave Sonali permission to attend the wedding, he refused to go himself. After that, Sonali started preparing to attend the wedding with her 4-year-old daughter. Since the wedding was scheduled for February 14, 2025, Sonali left her home in Jhansi on February 12, 2025, with her daughter to reach Tikamgarh early. But on the same day her uncle's son was getting married, Sandeep called Sonali and asked her to return home as soon as possible. When Sonali asked the reason behind this, Sandeep told her that he would explain it later, but for now she needed to come home immediately. Then, on February 16th, Sonali returned to her husband's house in Jhansi. After reaching home, Sonali meets her husband, and after talking with him for a while, the two of them, along with their daughter, go to sleep at night. But the next morning, on February 17th, when Sandeep wakes up, he is shocked and scared upon seeing his wife, Sonali. That's when Sandeep Budalia calls the police early in the morning. He tells them over the phone that his wife has taken her own life in their home. After hearing this, the police arrive at Sandeep's house shortly. When the police enter the house and see Sonali, they too are shocked. In fact, at that time, Sonali's body was hanging from the ceiling fan. The police then take Sonali's body down from the fan and send it for post-mortem. Sandeep Budalia had already informed Sonali's parents about the incident over the phone. After learning this about their daughter, they were deeply saddened, but they soon arrived there as well. Sandeep and Sonali had only been married for 7 years, and everyone was left wondering why Sonali would take such a step after 7 years of marriage. But even before the post-mortem report came in, the police started questioning Sandeep, and he told them everything he had seen that morning. However, after hearing Sandeep's statement, the police began to wonder why someone would take their own life, and believed there must be a reason behind it. After this, the police also questioned Sonali's family, and they gave their statements. During the questioning, Sonali's family told the police that ever since Sandeep Budaulia and Sonali got married, Sandeep had been harassing them constantly for dowry. In fact, the dowry system in India is a practice in which the bride's family gives durable goods, cash, and movable or immovable property to the groom's family, his parents, and relatives as a condition of marriage. Sonali's family also told the police that when the two were married on February 27, 2017, Sandeep took 2 million Indian rupees from them as dowry. But even after that, he was demanding a car from us, and when we didn't give him a car as part of the dowry, he became upset with us. Because of this, Sandeep and his family would constantly harass Sonali. Sonali's parents accused Sandeep and his entire family of dowry harassment in front of the police. They said that this might have been the reason their daughter Sonali was so distressed that she ended her life. After hearing this, the police began to investigate the case from that angle. Since Sonali's parents were in Jhansi at the time, Sonali's 4-year-old daughter was staying with her maternal grandparents. While staying with them, Sonali's daughter tried to tell them something, and suddenly she began to speak in front of them. Her behavior surprised Sonali's parents, but then Sonali's daughter picked up her notebook and started drawing on one of the pages. On that paper, Sonali's daughter drew a girl, and along with the girl, she also drew 2 hands. Her grandparents watched her as she made the painting, thinking she was just a 4-year-old girl entertaining herself. But when Sonali's parents looked at the painting, they were quite shocked. In that drawing, apart from the girl's 2 hands, there was also a 3rd hand reaching toward the girl's neck. That's when Sonali's parents asked her daughter about the painting. Sonali's daughter said that the girl in the painting is her mother,
Mama.
and that both of the hands in the picture also belong to her mother. But then, when Sonali's daughter's maternal grandfather asks about the 3rd hand in the painting, moving toward her mother, Sonali's neck, Sonali's daughter tells him that the 3rd hand belongs to her father, Sandeep. Then her grandparents ask her why she drew her father's hand going toward her mother's neck in the painting. That's when Sonali's daughter begins to tell her grandparents the story behind the picture. She tells them that her father first pushed her mother down and then beat her severely. After that, he grabbed her mother's neck tightly, and when her mother's eyes closed, he put something around her neck and hanged her. Hearing all this, Sonali's parents are left completely shocked. Knowing the story behind the painting makes them deeply sorrowful, as they now realize that their daughter Sonali was killed by her husband, Sandeep. Sonali's daughter also tells them that after beating her mother, her father left with his friends, and she had seen all of it with her own eyes before going to sleep. After hearing everything from the child, Sonali's parents quickly go to the police. They tell the police that their daughter didn't take her own life, she was murdered, and the eyewitness to the murder is none other than her own 4-year-old daughter. After hearing Sonali's parents, the police are also stunned and immediately go with them to question Sonali's daughter. When they arrive, the officers gently tell the girl, "We are your uncles." No idea why all this was happening to her, or why her father did what he did to her mother. So she simply and innocently told her grandparents and the police everything she had witnessed with her own eyes. When the police heard the little girl's statement and saw the painting, everything became clear to them. After hearing this, the police took Sandeep into custody. Soon after, Sonali's funeral was to take place. Sandeep Budaulia's brother and a few others who knew Sandeep also came to attend Sonali's funeral. But Sonali's parents refused to let any of them participate. They did this because they were angry at Sandeep and his family. Then Sonali's parents began discussing within the family who would light their daughter, Sonali's funeral pyre. Eventually, they decided that her 4-year-old daughter would be the one to light the pyre. In Indian Hindu tradition, the final rites are typically performed by a male member of the family. Only in rare cases is a girl allowed to do this, like when a military officer is martyred and only his wife or daughter remains. One of them may be allowed to light the pyre. In this case, Sonali's parents gave this responsibility to her daughter because Sandeep was the one who had murdered Sonali and therefore had no right to perform her last rites. So, when Sonali's funeral took place, it was her daughter who carried out all the final rituals. Although that time was extremely painful for Sonali's daughter, because she was so young that she didn't understand why she was performing all those rituals. Another thing was that when some time had passed and Sonali's daughter grew older, she would be deeply saddened to learn that it was her own father who had killed her mother. In addition, when Sonali's daughter completed her mother's last rites, the media asked her what she had just done. And at that time, Sonali's daughter told the media that she had just returned from performing her mother's funeral. After that, the police also began interrogating Sandeep Budolia. The police were asking Sandeep the reason for killing Sonali. Sandeep told the police that when he married Sonali, they had asked Sonali's father for 2 million rupees and a car. He said that Sonali's father did give them the 2 million rupees, but he didn't give them the car. That's why he started troubling and harassing Sonali after their marriage. He said he did this because he believed that if Sonali's parents saw their daughter being harassed, they would give him the car. But even then, they didn't give it to him. Sonali's parents also told the police that Sandeep had spent the 3 years after marriage in constant fights and conflicts like this. They also told the police that when their daughter Sonali gave birth to a daughter, they thought that since Sandeep had now become father, he would no longer trouble their daughter Sonali or them over anything. But still, Sandeep continued the fights, and because of that, the daughter had to listen to taunts from her in-laws. Sonali's parents also told the police that when Sandeep used to harass their daughter, she never told them anything about it. They further told the police that once Sandeep beat Sonali severely and even tried to burn her with fire. They then said that when they found out about this, they felt that Sandeep had crossed all limits, and that's why they filed a police complaint against him, and the case even went to court. But after that, Sandeep and his family became scared, so they reached a compromise with us, and Sandeep promised that he would never do anything like that to Sonali again. In fact, Sandeep also admitted that, while he agreed to the compromise at that time, his greed still hadn't gone away. After that, the police asked Sandeep when and how he killed Sonali. Then Sandeep Budolia told the police that when Sonali's maternal uncle's son was getting married, she had asked him to attend the wedding too, but due to all these issues, he refused. In reality, at that time, his relationship with Sonali's relatives was also strained. That's why Sonali and her daughter both went to the wedding without him. Sandeep then said that he even called her once and told her over the phone, "If you don't come home quickly, I'll never let you enter this house again." After hearing this, Sonali left the rest of the wedding rituals midway and returned to Jhansi on February 16th. Sandeep went on to say that when Sonali returned that day, he again fought with her over dowry. While they were arguing over the same issues, their daughter was lying on the bed watching them. But then, during the same fight, Sandeep started beating Sonali and pushed her down to the ground. After that, Sandeep strangled her and killed her. But when Sandeep's anger cooled down after some time, he realized that his wife was dead. Then Sandeep picked up his wife's body and put a noose around her neck. He then hung Sonali from a fan in the same room. After that, Sandeep told the police, "I did all this so that it would look like Sonali had taken her own life. At that time, I didn't pay attention to my daughter because she was very small and I thought she was asleep, but her eyes were slightly open and I didn't notice it. But in the end, Sandeep was wrong, and his 4-year-old daughter revealed such a horrifying secret that if she hadn't seen it, it might have taken the police a long time to solve Sonali's murder case. Moreover, if Sonali's daughter hadn't made that painting, Sonali's death might have remained a mystery. Anyway, Sonali's killer, Sandeep, is now behind bars. The trial is still ongoing in court and Sandeep's sentence is still pending. But as always, we'll keep an eye on this case. And if there are any updates in the future, we'll definitely post about them in the community section of the David True Crime channel or in the comments section of this video. So with that, the Sonali murder case comes to an end right here. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. In the city of Gaya, in the Indian state of Bihar, there lived a man named Manish Sinha. Manish was a married man and his wife's name was Rajeshwari Srivastava. The two had recently gotten married, so not much time had passed since they had tied the knot. One day, Manish's wife, Rajeshwari, expressed her desire to go on a trip with her husband. She shared this idea with Manish, and then the couple decided that they should travel to Nepal. After making this decision, Manish and Rajeshwari began preparing for their trip to Nepal. Eventually, the couple reached the airport, and on June 1st, 2018, they boarded their flight and set off from India to Nepal. Soon after, the two of them arrived in Nepal via flight. They had only planned to stay in Nepal for a day or two. Then the couple reached Pyrahawa in Nepal and visited all the tourist spots there. However, after spending 2 days sightseeing in Nepal, they began planning to return to India the next day. But when Manish told his wife, Rajeshwari, that it was time to return to India, Rajeshwari said she wanted to spend a little more time in Nepal. Manish told his wife that he had some important work, so it was necessary for them to return to India. Rajeshwari then told Manish that he should return to India alone. She also told him that Nepal was a wonderful place and she wanted to spend some more time there. After hearing this from his wife, Manish didn't pressure his wife and decided to return to India alone. Their return flight was actually scheduled for June 3rd, but on that day, Manish boarded the flight alone and returned from Nepal to India. At that time, Rajeshwari remained alone in Nepal. Manish allowed his wife Rajeshwari to stay alone in Nepal because she was educated and very sensible. Before marriage, Rajeshwari had traveled alone several times, which is why Manish didn't object to her staying in Nepal by herself. Before getting married, Rajeshwari Srivastava used to live alone in a neighborhood called Saraswatipuram in the Gorakhpur district of Uttar Pradesh. Her parents used to call her Raki. Raki's parents also lived in a neighborhood called Bilantpur in Gorakhpur. Raki and Manish Sinha had gotten married in February 2018. Manish Sinha's home was in Lohagara village, which falls under the Wazirganj police station area in the Gaya district of Bihar. Their marriage was a love marriage, and Manish and Raki got married legally in court. However, Raki's family did not want their daughter to marry Manish. They tried several times to stop Raki from marrying him. But after Raki and Manish married each other, her parents eventually accepted Manish as their son-in-law. After the wedding, Raki moved to her in-laws' house in the Gaya district. There, Manish's parents also accepted Raki as their daughter-in-law. Manish Sinha came from a good family and was also a member of the Indian Army. After the wedding, Manish Sinha spent some time with his wife, Raki, and then returned to his duty. Raki was left alone in the house with Manish's parents. Because Manish had gone back to his duty, Raki began to feel very lonely and started waiting for him to return. Manish loved his wife, Raki, very much, so just a few months later he came back home again on holiday. During this time, Manish and Rocky had decided to travel to Nepal. But now Manish had returned from Nepal to his home in Gaya, Bihar, while his wife, Rocky, was still in Pirahawa, Nepal. After returning to India, whenever Manish got a chance to talk to his wife, he would speak to her over the phone. After coming to India from Nepal, Manish had spoken to his wife, Rajeshwari Srivastava, a total of 3 times. They spoke once on the evening of June 3rd, then again on June 4th, and for the 3rd time during the day on June 5th. But when Manish Sinha called his wife again that evening, Rocky did not answer his call. That time, Rajeshwari Srivastava's phone rang completely and then disconnected by itself. Manish assumed that maybe his wife was tired from traveling and was resting, which is why she wasn't answering his call. The next day, June 6, 2018, Manish called his wife Rocky again. But again, Rocky did not answer his call. When this happened a second time, Manish began to worry about his wife Rocky. Sometime later, Manish saw that his wife was online on WhatsApp, so at that moment he tried calling her on WhatsApp too. But Rocky didn't answer his WhatsApp call either. Manish also sent her a message on WhatsApp, but she didn't reply to that either. Rocky was online on WhatsApp, but was neither answering her husband's calls nor responding to his messages. Besides that, Rocky was also active on several other social media platforms like Facebook and Facebook Messenger. But even there, she wasn't replying to Manish at all. Time continued to pass like this, and as time went on, Manish's concern for his wife, Rocky, kept growing. Even after that, Manish kept trying many times to talk to her. But what was surprising to him was that Rocky's phone had never been switched off even once during this entire time. Additionally, Rocky was seen reading messages in several WhatsApp groups with her friends and family, but she never replied in those groups either. Her husband, Manish, was noticing all this and wondered why, despite being online and reading everyone's messages, Rocky was still not answering his calls. After that, Manish waited a little longer for his wife, Rocky. Rocky continued to appear online on social media many times, but still, she didn't message anyone. Manish then told all of this to Rocky's brother, Amar Prakash Srivastava. Rocky's brother was very surprised to hear all this from Manish because he too had tried calling and messaging Rocky several times during that period. But Rocky hadn't responded to him either, nor had she spoken to him on the phone. All of this seemed very strange to Rocky's family as well. At that time, they also couldn't understand why their daughter Rocky was behaving like this. In fact, until then, Rocky's brother Amar hadn't told Manish any of this. After learning all this, Rocky's brother Amar began to suspect his sister's husband, Manish. In fact, Amar felt that his brother-in-law, Manish, had something to do with Rocky's disappearance. Following this suspicion, by June 24th, 2018, Amar filed a kidnapping complaint against Manish at the Shahpur police station in Gorakhpur. After Amar filed the complaint, the police registered an NFIR by July 4th under Indian Penal Code Section 366, which pertains to kidnapping, and Section 506, which pertains to criminal intimidation. This fear created serious problems for Manish, as he was already distressed over the disappearance of his wife, Rocky, and now his brother-in-law had also filed a case against him. After that, the Gorakhpur police picked up Manish Sinha and started interrogating him. Manish completely denied all the allegations that his brother-in-law, Amar, had made against him. He explained everything to the police in detail, and at that time, the police also interrogated Manish thoroughly. Manish told the police that he had even gone back to Nepal to look for his wife. He visited the same hotel in Pirahawa, Nepal, where the couple had stayed earlier, and inquired about Rocky. But at the hotel, he learned that after he had checked out and returned to India, his wife, Rocky, had also left the hotel the very next day. This information shocked Manish at the time. He continued searching for Rocky in Nepal for 2 more days, But even then, he couldn't find any clue about her, so he returned to India again. After hearing all this, the police also checked Manish's phone records. From this, they confirmed that Manish had tried to contact Rocky several times, but Rocky never responded. In fact, after learning all this, the police no longer suspected Manish Sinha, which is why they eventually gave him a clean chit. But then the question remained, where had Rocky gone? Finding Rocky was becoming increasingly difficult for the police, and her parents were also putting a lot of pressure on them to locate their daughter. One of the biggest complications in this case was that it had now crossed India's borders, so the case was handed over from Gorakhpur Police to the Uttar Pradesh Special Task Force (STF). In India, the STF is a special police unit formed to handle violent crimes, terrorism, or other specialized situations. Since Rocky's case came under the STF's jurisdiction, they had been investigating it very thoroughly and carefully. During the investigation, the STF had also tracked the location of Rocky's phone. At that time, her phone was located in Guwahati, a city in the state of Assam. Even then, Rocky's phone remained on. But like before, she wasn't communicating with anyone. After some time, Rocky left a WhatsApp group and stopped being active on WhatsApp altogether. The exact time her account became inactive was around 11:30 p.m. on October 4th, 2018. That was the last confirmed time she was online. After that, Rocky was never seen online again, and her location also went dark. By then, the STF had already been investigating the case for 4 to 5 months, yet they still had not found any information confirming whether Rocky was alive. Then, during that same time, the Nepal police sent photographs of a woman's dead body to the Uttar Pradesh STF staff. The officer who received those photographs in India wasn't involved with Rocky's case at the time and had no knowledge about it either. Yet, despite that, the officer recognized the woman in those photographs. A person had informed the Nepal police about the woman's dead body on June 8, 2018. After receiving this information, the Nepal police quickly reached the location. Upon arrival, the police took possession of the body. The woman's body was found lying at the base of a hill in Sarangkot, Pokhara, Nepal. However, the Nepal police didn't find any ID proof or documents near the body, making it extremely difficult for them to identify her. The police then sent the body for a post-mortem. Shortly afterward, the post-mortem report was released. It stated that the woman had suffered multiple fractures and internal bleeding. It also mentioned that approximately 48 hours had passed since her death, and alcohol was found in her body. After learning all this from the post-mortem report, the Nepal police began to consider the possibility that the woman might have fallen from the hill while heavily intoxicated. Still, the police made great efforts to identify her, but were unable to find any information. The Nepal police even investigated nearby police stations in the area where the body was found, but none of those stations had received a missing complaint matching the description of the woman. Time kept passing during the attempts to identify her, and no police station came forward to claim the body either. After quite some time had passed in this manner, the Nepal police eventually performed her last rites themselves. But before doing so, they preserved all her photographs, forensic reports, post-mortem report, and every other piece of information. Over time, the Nepal police began to feel that the woman might not be a resident of Nepal, but possibly a tourist. That could explain why no one had come forward to inquire about her. With that in mind, the Nepal police sent her photographs to India's STF. Now, the STF officer who recognized the woman just by looking at her photograph now told his senior STF officer that her name was Rocky Srivastava. Upon hearing that name, the senior officer felt the officer must know her well. In fact, only close acquaintances and people who knew her personally used to call her by the name Rocky. The senior officer also felt that this officer could be of great help in solving the case. That's why the officer was added to the investigation team. Now, STF also wanted to know that if Rocky's dead body had already been found by Nepal police on June 8th, then who was using her phone afterward? On top of that, it was already December and her phone was still active. But the most shocking part was that whoever was using Rocky's phone at that time was so active on it that it seemed as if Rocky herself was using it. STF was now wondering, even if someone had stolen Rocky's phone, why would that thief continue using Rocky's WhatsApp or social media accounts? A thief would normally delete all that and use their own WhatsApp and social media on the device. But now, the big question for STF was, who was using Rocky's phone? The STF team was investigating Rocky's case very thoroughly, but Rocky's parents and her brother kept blaming Manish repeatedly. However, on the other hand, in order to investigate the case even more thoroughly, the STF team also traveled from India to the Pokhara region of Nepal, where the Nepal police had found Rocky's dead body. After reaching the location, the STF communicated with the local police there. The Nepal police informed the STF that when they found the woman's dead body, there was nothing with her, no items or ID proof that could be used to identify her. Besides that, the Nepal police also couldn't determine which hotels the woman had stayed at in Nepal. This was because, at that time, many hotels in Nepal did not have CCTV cameras. But then the STF team also wanted to know how that STF officer knew Rocky and how he was able to recognize her so quickly just by looking at her photographs. After that, the STF officer shared the entire story of how he knew Rocky with the other STF officers. He told them that before becoming an STF officer, he used to be a bodyguard for a doctor at a hospital, and that doctor was friends with Rocky. The doctor used to visit Saraswati Puram occasionally to meet Rocky, and the two of them used to spend a lot of time together. The doctor's name was Dharmendra Pratap Singh, and he was also known as Dr. D.P. Singh. That doctor had a hospital in Dawatpur, Gorakhpur, located on the Canal Road, and the hospital's name was Aryan Hospital. Now, the STF had a new ray of hope to solve this case. They felt that way because ever since they found out that Rocky had ties with this doctor, they believed that he might be able to help them in solving her case in some way. But one thing was also clear. The STF couldn't just pick up the doctor directly for questioning. Moreover, they had to keep in mind that Indian authorities couldn't easily access information about phone activity in foreign countries, even if the person involved was an Indian national who had traveled abroad. Additionally, if someone stole a phone in India and started using it in Nepal, the police couldn't track or trace that phone's location without permission from the government of that country. So the STF first got permission from the Nepal government and retrieved Rocky's call details and location data. After that, they also checked Manish's location in Nepal. Manish's Nepal location details revealed he was with Rocky in Nepal from June 1st to June 3rd. But after that, Manish returned to Bihar. After Manish returned to Bihar, Rocky's location shifted from Pairahawa to Pokhara in Nepal. In Nepal's Kaski district, there is a waterfall named David Falls. Rocky's location was traced near that waterfall. Rocky's call details also showed that she had a conversation with Dr. D.P. Singh on June 2nd. Later, when the STF retrieved Rocky's older call details, they discovered that Rocky used to speak with Dr. D.P. Singh even earlier. Dr. D.P. Singh had also gone to Nepal to meet Rocky on June 4th. He bought another SIM card in Nepal and recharged it with a prepaid balance using a mobile top-up card. A Nepalese number appeared in Rocky's call records, and Dr. D.P. Singh's location matched Rocky's location. This confirmed that the person using that Nepalese number was none other than Dr. D.P. Singh himself. These call records of Rocky were enough for the STF to now easily detain Dr. D.P. Singh for questioning. Shortly after that, in December 2018, the STF arrested Dr. D.P. Singh. But Dr. D.P. Singh wasn't telling the STF anything truthfully and was denying all the allegations made against him. After that, the STF began investigating the case even more deeply. From June 4th to June 6th, DP Singh's location was in Nepal along with Rakhi. After that, DP Singh came back to Gorakhpur, and Rakhi's location at that time was in Guwahati. The STF then began investigating how DP Singh traveled from India to Nepal. They examined whether he went by flight, by road, or used public transport. Along with this, the STF also wanted to know whether DP Singh went to Nepal alone or if someone else was with him. While continuing the investigation in this manner, the STF eventually found out about one of DP Singh's drivers, whose name was Pramod Kumar Singh. After learning all this, the STF began looking into how many private vehicles went from India to Nepal around June 4th. While investigating this, the STF found out that at the Sonauli border of Nepal, Pramod Kumar Singh had also obtained the same customs pass. In fact, if anyone travels from India to Nepal by road, they must get a customs pass for their vehicle before taking it into Nepal. This customs pass is a permit that allows Indians to take their vehicles into Nepal easily. However, the vehicle must return from Nepal before the customs pass expires, though people can also renew this pass. Pramod Kumar used a photocopy of his driving license to obtain that customs pass. After this much investigation, the STF had now confirmed that this Pramod Kumar was indeed DP Singh's driver. After this, the police picked up the driver and began questioning him strictly, and he eventually began telling the police everything truthfully. The driver told the police that he was present with Dr. DP Singh at that time, and along with them was an employee from Doctor's Hospital. That employee's name was Desh Deepak Nishad. All three of them had gone to Nepal together in a Scorpio car. Apart from all this, one of the most important facts was that the location of the driver and the employee was also detected in Nepal, along with Rakhi. But even after gathering so much evidence, the STF eventually picked up that hospital employee of Dr. DP Singh and began questioning him as well. That hospital employee also started telling the full truth. After picking up both of them, the STF then picked up Dr. DP Singh once again. The doctor was extremely surprised to see his driver and employee. After questioning all three together, a new story came to light for the STF. The STF found out that in 2006, Rakhi was living in Bilanpur with her parents, her two brothers, and a sister. Rakhi's father, Har Ram Srivastava, was an officer in the electricity department and had already retired. At one point, Rakhi's father fell ill and had to be admitted to a hospital. That hospital was Aryan Hospital, owned by Dr. DP Singh. It was during that time that Doctor met Rakhi for the first time, and during that first meeting, he fell in love with her. However, DP Singh was already a married man, but even so, he developed an inappropriate interest in Rakhi. After that, the two gradually started talking to each other, and over time they became good friends. But after some time, Rakhi's father recovered and returned home. Even after her father got better, Rakhi often visited DP Singh at his hospital. Rakhi didn't know that the doctor was already married, and the doctor never told her anything about himself either. DP Singh's wife, Usha Singh, also didn't know that her husband was having an extramarital affair with another woman. Their affair went on for years, but then one day Rakhi found out from someone that the doctor was a married man. This revelation shocked her deeply and caused her great pain. After that, Rakhi left without telling the doctor and moved to the city of Gonda to distance herself from him. Rakhi had gone to Gonda to study for a Bachelor of Education degree, and after learning about the doctor's marriage, she also stopped communicating with him. This is how she quietly started distancing herself from him. But DP Singh couldn't stay away from Rakhi, so he reached out to her again and kept trying to persuade her. After some time, Rakhi agreed, and in 2011, the two of them got married at a temple in Gonda. Neither of their families knew about this at the time, But Rocky couldn't keep it hidden from her family for long, and when they found out, the shock of it caused her father's death, and the rest of her family also cut ties with her. The doctor bought a house for Rocky in Saraswatipuram, Shapur. After that, Rocky started living in that house, and the doctor used to visit her there. Because of all these things, the doctor's behavior changed drastically, and as a result, his first wife, Usha Singh, eventually found out everything about him. Usha Singh became very upset, and the doctor started distancing himself from Rocky to make amends with his wife. But there was nothing more he could do, and Usha Singh also began distancing herself from him. When Usha pulled away, the doctor went back to Rocky again. The truth was that he didn't want to leave either of the women. But then Usha Singh found out that doctor had gone back to Rocky once again. Because of this, the doctor's wife, Usha, filed a case against her husband at the Kant police station in Gorakhpur. Due to the case, the doctor apologized to his first wife, Usha, and promised her that he would stay away from Rocky, asking her to withdraw the case. On the other hand, Rocky was pressuring the doctor to stay with her. But this time, D.P. Singh truly started distancing himself from Rocky. At that time, Rocky was also expecting the doctor's child, and both of them were very happy when they found out. But during delivery, due to complications, the baby, who was a girl, died, and this deeply devastated both the doctor and Rocky. However, the beauty of Rocky that once attracted Dr. D.P. Singh was slowly fading with time. Because of this, the doctor started living with his first wife, Usha, again. Rocky ended up alone, but the one thing that didn't change was the money the doctor used to send her every month. He still sent the same amount, and Rocky's expenses hadn't gone down. But more than the money, Rocky wanted the doctor's companionship. This led to fights and arguments between Rocky and the doctor. Frustrated by these fights, Rocky went to the Chinhat police station in Lucknow in 2017 and filed a case against the doctor for kidnapping and gang rape. Along with that, she also filed a sexual harassment case at the women's police station in Gorakhpur. Because of these two cases filed at the same time, the doctor's reputation in society was severely damaged, and his hospital also suffered greatly. To escape the disgrace, the doctor pleaded with Rocky and asked her to withdraw both cases. Eventually, Rocky agreed and withdrew the cases. At that time, Rocky was still living in the house in Saraswatipuram that the doctor had bought for her. It was in that same flat in Saraswatipuram where Rocky first met her husband, Manish Sinha. But the way the two met was that some of Manish's relatives also lived in a certain area of Saraswatipuram at the time, and Manish used to visit them occasionally. In fact, it was during one such visit that Manish met Rocky again, and during that meeting they began talking, and gradually they started getting closer. Eventually, after some time, the two of them even got married in court. While researching this case, we found that one news report claimed that at that time Manish did not know that Rocky was already married to a doctor. However, in contrast, another news report stated that Manish already knew everything about Rocky and still chose to marry her. On the other hand, the doctor also found out about Rocky's marriage with Manish Sinha. After Rocky got married, the doctor thought she would now leave him alone. But even after getting married, Ricky did not stop pursuing the doctor and instead started blackmailing him again. She told the doctor that she had some photos through which she could file another case against him. By blackmailing the doctor, Rocky extorted hundreds of thousands of rupees from him and also wanted to have the house transferred to her name, the same house the doctor had bought for her to live in. However, the doctor flat refused to transfer the house to her name because it was a property worth crores. Frustrated by Rocky's blackmailing, the doctor then plotted to kill her. He made 5 plans to kill Rocky, but he never gathered the courage to execute any of them. But then the doctor made a 6th and final plan to kill Rocky. He made this plan when Rocky herself called the doctor on June 2nd, 2018, and told him that she was currently in Nepal. After hearing this, the doctor decided that he would go to Nepal and kill her there. He included Pramod Kumar Singh and Deepak in his plan and promised them a 5,000 rupees salary increase from the next month, in addition to giving them some money for killing Rocky. To carry out the plan, the doctor called Rocky and said, "I'm coming to Nepal to meet you, so stay there until I arrive." Because of this, Rocky told her husband, Manish, to return to India alone, and she stayed back in Nepal on the pretext of traveling. On June 4, 2018, the doctor, Pramod Kumar Singh, and Deepak arrived in Nepal. After reaching Nepal, they met Rocky and spent some time with her, even sightseeing around the city of Pokhara. After the outing, the doctor booked a hotel in Nepal that had no CCTV cameras. Then, on the evening of June 5th, he mixed some kind of intoxicating substance in alcohol and gave it to Rocky. After that, he took her up a hill. Once at the top, all three of them pushed Rocky off the hill, causing her to fall down. Before doing this, they took all her identification documents and ID proofs. According to their plan, they didn't switch off Rocky's phone. Instead, they gave her phone to someone and sent it to Guwahati. As per their plan, they also kept her social media accounts active. The Gorakhpur police and STF investigated this case very thoroughly. That's why, on December 21st, 2018, they officially arrested all three accused. The Gorakhpur police and STF also shared full details of the case with the media. From the possession of the three accused, they recovered a Scorpio car, Rocky's voter ID card, a Nepal phone recharge card, 2 PAN cards, 1 ATM card, and 4 phones. After that, all three were sent to jail. While in jail, the doctor applied for bail in the Gorakhpur Sessions Court, but his bail was rejected, and afterward he applied in the Allahabad High Court. Eventually, on May 20th, 2019, the doctor was granted bail by the Allahabad High Court. Ever since the doctor was granted bail, he has been out of jail. But the other two accused in this case are still behind bars. The trial has not yet started because the police still need Rocky's post-mortem report, along with several other documents. However, during this time, the Uttar Pradesh police did contact Interpol in September 2023 through India's Home and Foreign Ministries to obtain the post-mortem report and other forensic evidence from the Nepal police. But it seems the Uttar Pradesh police was not successful, and that's why the case stands where it does today. However, we will continue to keep an eye on this case, and if there is any new update in the future, we will share it through the David True Crime Channel's community post or in the comment box of this video. So with that, the Rocky Srivastava murder case comes to an end right here. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you, Kui.